Hey, we're back.
You went to take that bathroom break that you didn't get to go to.
No, I did my earlier one. Thank you very much. Now that we're on Blab, I guess I can lose my time a little bit.
Hi, Nazim. It's so good to see you. Look, I saw your name and I saw you say hi. And look, you sent sun rays right my direction here in Seattle.
Hey, Ross. How you doing? Good. Okay, guys. So this is Randy. Your first time on a Blab, or have you done this before?
No, that's my first. This is my first Blab. Being active on Blab. Not my first time being here, but first time active on.
Okay, so you're just a voyeur before. All right. So Jess, Jess is in the middle of this big, huge move. Well, not huge move. She's not moving to the East Coast, but she's going from Seattle to Colorado. I won't say what city?
Colorado.
Because I don't want anybody stalking her. But she's got, so she's in the middle of this whole house thing and all that and moving and all that. So I'm surprised you can join us. Thank you very much. Or are you hiding?
You're welcome.
I
wanted to come just a minute. Yeah, I have to tell you, I'm looking forward to the move.
She's out of there.
Yeah. Most of my house is empty. The movers come on Saturday.
Oh my God, really? That's immediate. That's really immediate.
It's really, the whole thing has been 8 weeks. The whole thing from beginning to end.
Wow.
That's just a prop behind her. It's a picture, really. It's a 3D picture.
Yeah.
She's using her Manicam chroma key. She's actually already moved to Colorado, and
she's green screening. Going to Colorado.
So we had a great show, guys. If you didn't catch the show we did on the Crowdcast, we just moved over from the Ray2Go show, and now we're here, kind of chilling, sort of green room style. And it was a super show about human digital marketing. So if you haven't caught it, go to Crowdcast or go to my website, rayhills.com. I had to think what my name was there. And check it out, because what's the cool thing about Crowdcast is you can leave comments there anytime, before, during, or after the show, and we can always see them. So yeah, human digital marketing was a topic, but now we're just chilling. So we want to say hi to you guys and pop in and out whenever you want. And we're here for about a few more minutes, like 20 minutes or so.
That was our first really super multimedia show with Crowdcast and what all else going on, and all at once half of the time.
It was crazy. At the opening, I kind of screwed up on the opening.
You have to give Ray a hand for that, because he was the producer and host, so he was doing production as well. We're just on the bus.
Yeah, and it was on your website too, right?
What's that?
It was on your website as well as on Google.
rayhills.com/Ray2Go. That's where the shows will be broadcast each week. Nice landing page, some information about our fabulous panel, three who are here. So yeah, it was crazy. And I again, the opening was kind of screwed up because I had the browser stuck somewhere on my desktop. Couldn't find it, of course. So when we started the show, the video sound came up, and BL said maybe it's a crowdcasting, but I'm not sure. So it took me a little while to find it and then close it off. But apart from that, I think it went pretty smooth. I think I like the experience. I think it beats Comment Tracker.
Comment Tracker, just doesn't always work. That's
what's interesting, because when I was setting it up, I realized, wow, I'm saving a bunch of time tracking public shares of my post and all that for Comment Tracker and doing all that. I didn't have to do that.
Right.
That was great. Anybody there in the audience want to have a comparison between using Google Plus event page for a Hangout and Crowdcast, especially specifically about Comment Tracker? Leave them here or wave your hand or something, and you can join us and give us your experience.
New messages.
There's Scott. After this Blab, check out thank you, Scott. Oh, and on the other side, as you're facing on your left-hand side, there's Tell the Little Bird. So please feel free to tweet that there's a Blab going on, invite your friends over, and let's have some fun. I'm going to do that right now. Tell a little bird.
I just did that. Yeah, and by the way, when you tweet, you can customize the tweet. You don't have to use the tweet that just comes up there. So you can say whatever you want about it to your followers.
Cool, and you can retweet as well. So it's that's a really
neat that's an interesting feature.
Well, that's what I like about the Blab. And not that I want to go into a whole Blab discussion, because every other Blab is about Blab. But what it's really cool, I love the integration with Twitter. I think that's fabulous.
That really makes a difference, I mean, because among the things that it's done is it's brought some new people to Twitter.
Hey, let's take it. Let's take it. If we don't want to talk about Blab and the platform, let's do what let's take one aspect of the show and dissect it a little bit from our point of view.
I like that.
We had after the show, after we went off air. So one that comes to mind, I think, and it kind of spirited a little bit, and in a way, I think it was in total agreement, was about money and commerce. So and Jessica, I'd like you to kind of, say something to take that off, to get that started with.
Sure. Okay. I think, we have to remember money is making the world go around in our society today at a global scale. We have agreed that money is going to be what drives commerce and determines value. And we buy things with money, and we give our money to people, whether it's for those things, for services that we're working, or we're serving, or we're buying something. It all revolves around money. And we can't forget about that when it comes to commerce, because a one-to-many method makes a lot of sense, even if it can feel a little bit more one-to-one. And finding and not taking it too far, I think, is important. But coming back to just I actually went on like 5 different things. Thanks for letting me start, Randy. Back to it though.
I read an article this morning, and it was kind of intuitive about the startup craze that came along a while back. And I mean, we celebrate new startups every day, and that's great, the entrepreneurial spirits. But this one had to do with people going online and being able to borrow something from somebody and use it. Tools was what came to mind, right? And it was a great concept. Accolades from all the tech journals and even New York Times and all that when it launched and everything. But the crux of the story and the founder of the startup came down to that people just didn't give a shit anymore, right? In other words, they wanted convenience, but they didn't want to have to work for that convenience. So what basically people were doing was they were either, just finagling it at home without going through getting the tool, or they were going down to the Home Depot and buying the tool themselves anyway. And getting that, and that's kind of what we see in today. About there was a deal there where guy had this great concept, didn't involve money, but it involved the consumer to do something extra. It impacted them to do something that it was that kind of out of the norm, and they didn't react to it. So I mean,
but there's also all of this. There's a really wonderful website. I cannot think of the name of it right now, where what you do is you clean out your closet and you sell the stuff, and the money goes to charities that you choose. People will do things if they care about them. I mean, maybe that wasn't a big enough deal for people to borrow a tool
you threw a caveat on there. You said charity. That charity is a little bit different. And if it's like repurposing something. And I do that. I would do that in a heartbeat, and I do that. Clean out clothes. I go, oh man, these clothes are. I take them to the Goodwill, or I give them to somebody in need. I mean, I think that's a little bit different than, I need to use something that BL's got, and how can I get it? She's going to loan it to me. Oh, she's going to mail it to me. I got to mail it back, but it doesn't. And then I go, screw that. I'll just go down to Lowe's and buy them.
Well, that's just it. I mean, if you make it hard for people, in the case of the closet cleaning, you mail the stuff to them. You still have to mail it, but there's got to be something involved. You just have to make people care about it, and it has to be something that changes the way that they were doing it before. I mean, you feel guilty if you take your closet, clean it out, just throw it in the trash. So, this is an option that there's this particular area is growing.
I'm trying to put this in context of our earlier conversation about the money, with the branding and the marketing thing. And I'm thinking the way you're talking about different companies, and some are charities and some not, who do things like the new economy of the sharing economy. But isn't the case kind of like living to work and working to live? I mean, when someone starts a company, yes, you do it for money, but don't you do it for other reasons as well? And part of that drive is to make enough money so you can continue to do what drives your passion. Or is it just about money? In which case people would just not do a lot of things other than things that make money, whether it's pizza or whatever else. So when we're talking
about the first thing is to break even. First, you got to break even and pay the bills for your business.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's a method to that's the voyage part. I mean, is the goal. I mean, don't you?
But I think a lot of people forget, and I think they jump straight to the end and go, I'm going to give all my money away before I'm making any. And I love doing what I do, and it would be great to do it for free. But I'll be honest, if we're going to come back to the money thing, and that's one way that we define value, people pay me for my service, or they pay the company I work for the services that are the products that they provide. That is a measure of my impact in the world. That is a measure of the company's impact in the world. And I think there's something to be said for that we should be in it to make money. We should, there's an altruistic fashion, but I don't think altruism drives our commerce at all.
I think where the customer service aspect of social media comes in, especially with large companies. I mean, they're in it to make money, right? So they've got to have some kind of presence and do some kind of, now it might be shitty, it might be the best, but they've got to do something there. But their social presence and their monitoring is more for reactions to
Nazim, hang on.
problems or issues.
Okay, Nazim wanted to come in. I'm going to pop out so somebody else can get in since there's only 4 seats. See you guys in 2 weeks. Had a great time. We'll catch up with you guys later.
Okay.
Happy moving.
Yeah.
Vivek asked, don't you guys think you need to play musical chairs with Blab? You are 5 people, 4 seats. I guess maybe he's probably referring to Scott. And we also have Cass who wants to come in. And is there someone else who wants to come in? Ross.
I can leave it long.
Let's see. Well, we got 2 people come in. So I'll start with Casa first. Hey, there he is, Nazim.
Wow, thanks for letting me. I want to express a lot of love. I missed the show. I'm gonna go catch it back at the house when I get there. But it's super great to see Google Peeps on Blab. I just want to add that in there because.
Well, it's not like it's in the desert, Nazim. I mean, there's an awful lot of us over here. You know.
I know. And it's very interesting, the conversation that Randy's bringing up about, the importance of making money on these platforms. And I noticed that in some cases, there's specifically, it's your business and that's what you're trying to grow and that's what you do. In the case of BL, for example, that's, in the case of other people, Casa Chiesi is kind of like a hobby. Me and Betty, we do certain things, but it's not our business. So, but always in the realm of what social media is all about. I noticed in Blab, there's a lot of people that are constantly on it. And I keep saying to myself, I wonder if these people have a day job or something of that nature, because it just doesn't, I don't see it.
5-hour Blabs, I mean, those are just driving me crazy.
Thank you.
Who has time to sit here for 5 hours? And some people do it every day. Like, we'll get back to money. How are they making it?
Well, unless like, for instance, I know Mark Traphake is a very, very busy guy. He writes lots of posts. He does his little funny videos with Eric. And I say that endearingly because they are kind of funny. It's like watching bad, like porn actors trying to act. But I mean, they're very informative. But then that's part of his job, right? I mean, it's like if I was a content writer for a company, part of my thing would be doing this during the day and interacting with other people during the day and all that. But for those people who actually have businesses that don't involve, communicating, blabbing, I don't know how they do it because I barely keep up, and I don't have a lot of clients.
You're a contract consultant, marketer, and you do. We started your lunch table thing several years back as a outreach to that, to build brand a lot, but it's a limited visual. We all know now BL's got her own show that she does, but she's not on there all the time. She might be a guest on somebody's show, or you might be a guest on somebody's show, but this is the only show that I do on a continual basis. But it's once every other week, or once a week that we do, and then we take the summer off. But to say that people are sitting on there, I think a lot of those people, is they're wanting to be something, and they don't have a good cash flow, or they don't understand the need for the cash flow for whatever reason that may be.
Right.
And so they're just occupying time and projecting themselves as, because of their constant face out there. Maybe they're doing early brand building or something like that, but they're an authority.
Right.
Wrong with that. I do ask that question. How in the hell do they pay their electric bill? You know, I mean,
Exactly.
Well, but this is similar to when Google Plus started.
Yeah,
and a lot of people said, I'm not going to blog anymore. I'm moving everything to Google Plus. Well, that was an idiotic move. You know, if you put your real estate on someone else's property, you can expect that at some point either you are going to have to pay more, or you are going to get kicked out, or something else is going to come along. And there are people who are like, I'm not doing Hangouts anymore. I'm doing everything on Blab. Well, you are making a big mistake.
That's a very good point. I brought that up in a conversation in one of these Blabs, and I said, and everybody's like, oh, you know, Hangouts is and I'm like, they're all different instruments. Please, folks, let's analyze them and use them for the specifics that you need in your business. The more instruments and vehicles that you have, the better off we are. I don't know what's this thing about, now this is going to kill that. What happens when Facebook starts live streaming in 2 months from now? Is this
right? I mean, by Blab, you know,
it might, you know.
And there's also another one that Scott Silverstein was talking about that has 8 people in the conversation now.
Yeah, it's called Hangouts on Air, isn't it?
Well, Ray and I had that conversation early on in the green room of the show. We were talking about, you know, this one size fits all, and everybody rushed to. I mean, Blab is very hot right now. Everybody's on it, you know, but Google Plus got hot, or Hangouts got hot. The only ones that really have the staying power in my mind is Facebook and Instagram. I
think you're right.
I mentioned Vine. I mean, remember when Vine came along? Everybody, oh man, that's the greatest thing in the world. And here comes Facebook along, and they integrate, video into Instagram, and it. I mean, that's got staying power.
That's got staying power. And Facebook, another thing is the reality of each country. I'm in Italy. Facebook here rules. It's like everybody. So once Facebook starts doing that live streaming stuff, it's going to be, you know, and they're first to market. You might hate it, you might love it, but it's another platform. I'm going to let somebody else come on in. I don't want to.
I'm going to do the same.
Okay, well, thanks, Nazim. See ya, BL. Thanks very much.
Bye.
I'm going to invite Ross in. That's a very good point, Randy. I mean, the point. I mean, I put my hand up. I mean, I do the same thing that many people did. I started social media just maybe a couple of years before Google Plus came out. Oh, okay, I'm late to the game. So here's a platform that's new. It's by a huge company. This is something I get my teeth in and become known for. As you know, like Lomer is the Facebook guy. Maybe I could be the Google Plus guy. Well, you know, I've learned my lesson basically, and you know, now I feel like I've left a dysfunctional relationship. You know, I mean, I'm still there because I still think the platform is great to write stuff on, but I think they dropped the ball in a lot of cases, and I'm glad that these other options are there. And I think it boils down to you have to know what you want to say, how you want to say it, and make a decision. Is this going to accomplish what I want it to accomplish? Blab for me, I love this because I'm meeting new people all the time. You can't do that on closed networks.
Yeah, look, we're meeting Ross. Look.
We're meeting Ross. How you doing, Ross?
Oh, what's up, guys? I finally get a chat with you guys here. We've been connected for a while, so that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Blab is that this just doesn't happen on other networks in this way, in any other network, really.
Even though this is supposed to be a non-Blab chat. I agree with you. So we're not supposed to be talking about Blab, but you're right. It is true. And because otherwise we wouldn't have met. Because you've been in my stream for forever. And it's so nice to be able to see you. That's the magic of video, right?
Some comments about the subject matter we were talking about.
Okay, cool. Who's
Ross?
Let's see.
So one of the things that I just want to pop in too and say, well, 2 points. One was to what Randy was saying earlier, about the financial aspect being tied into it. I agree. There's an element, you know, some people, they start off and they have a financial point to what they're doing, and that's actually leads the way. And then they try and rally people behind it because financial direction without people, you know, people have the money. And I kind of went the other way. I built people in the audience and I focused on that. And then I knew that, you know, you watch these talent shows and you see as soon as somebody comes out there, if they're a pretty good singer, they probably have a career because now they're in front of 1 million people. And I figured, you know what? once you do that, anything that you do that's of any quality is ready to go. So I think there's different ways to approach it. And I think there's different things as far as tying into the time. It's the same way, with time, a lot of people trade, time for dollars. I try and trade results for dollars so that I can say, what's the least time input I can put in, which ultimately increases my personal ROI for the greatest amount of profit to free up my time. Now, not everybody's that way. I'm kind of a growth hacker, but there's a lot of people out there who maybe are on for 5 hours a day and their lights are flickering and the notice is going on their door and they're hiding inside.
Wasn't there a philosophy not too very long ago that you had to be there 24/7, 365? If you're not, somebody else is going to beat you. And I look around at let's just say some successful, in my mind, successful people that are in the marketing realm that use social platforms, and I don't see them. I mean, sporadically posting things maybe to Facebook and all that, not necessarily on 24/7. They might hit the thing twice a day, or maybe once every other day, and they're still in the realm of talking at various conferences or getting various contracts that appear to be pretty substantial. So the idea that if you're on it 24/7 a day and you're just a 5-person shop, then you're not really doing much creative work beyond that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it always goes down to the trade-off that as you get either money, right? You either have money or time to invest. And some people, if you don't have any money, sometimes time is a good way to go out there, get yourself a name, like you were saying. Some people are out there trying to build themselves. Other people, they get some money. Now you have your choice. Do you want to, reinvest that money? Do you want to put more time, or do you want lifestyle? Because for me, it's all lifestyle. So when I'm looking at a client, if they say, hey, we want, this list of stuff and we want to pay this, and someone else says, I want this list of stuff and I want to pay this, then the choice is, I always protect my schedule. So people sometimes ask me, when can we chat? And it's like, I'm probably pretty flexible. What's your schedule look like? Because I make things fluid on purpose. I'm Teflon when it comes to my time, because I want to be able to have that flexibility to just get what needs to get done. And I will sprint and build systems and find smarter ways to do things so I can constantly bring that down. Because if not, then I don't have the ability to see those opportunities that might be out there, whether it's through people or projects or whatever. So I try and do that. But again, it's definitely different. There's kind of two ways of thinking. I think there's kind of that way, like you were saying, where it's like, hey, when I managed restaurants, it was the same way. There was managers who were working 100-hour weeks. And you know what? The minute they weren't in their, it was awesome. But the minute they weren't in their store, nothing happened. Whereas I was the kind of person that I was a training manager. So I trained my crew to be so good. Essentially, I didn't need to be there. If we had a new hire, they could train them. And I could get, who's more effective? The person, some people used to say, well, the person with 100 hours, they're really committed. And I'm like, but I'm doing in 40 hours what they're doing in 100 hours.
But where were you when I was managing restaurants, Ross? I mean, like I managed restaurants for a lot of years. But
it's hard to do that. It's hard to manage for a lot of years. They say the life cycle is like 3 years most, and I think I did it for 8 or 9, and then finally,
same here.
Because I like a challenge, and
here. But what I loved about it, though, was the collaboration. And that's what I love about these kind of platforms. I want to go to a question that actually David Kutra had mentioned, about early adopters, because that's part of the whole FOMO thing, right? We all don't want to miss out and stuff. And I think that's the huge distraction that we have when we work in the digital space, is that we're so tempted that we can't focus on our result, as you were saying, or building that audience first, as you were saying. So, and he had mentioned that, like Elo, all the early adopters got to meet each other because they're the only ones there. So is this the case with Blab? Is that we're all meeting the same kind of people who are, want to be first on the app?
Yeah, we're all, and I think social marketers was the term used, and I would question that. I mean, if all the social marketers are sitting around talking about the platform to themselves, what are they doing for their clients?
Yeah, this is what I said the other day. I said, hey, look, I want to call my friend. I pick this up. But you know what? I could pick up one of these. I could pick up your phone and call my friend. This is cool, But what I'm using it for is to talk to the person on the other side. And it's the same way with social media. It's like the platforms can be cool, but you can't get so enamored in the platform that you realize the platform just does X for me. What does that do, and why am I doing it?
I want to ask. I want to thank Scott because he reminded me that we do have an empty seat if anybody wants to join in. Actually, yeah. So anybody want to join in, just hit the join me button and pop in.
But I mean, that's right, Ross. I mean, I work for a few clients. I mean, you're doing work. I'm not necessarily on social media sharing the work that I'm doing for clients, right? I'm teaching them or showing them or working for them to do or to utilize. If I see a place that Blab might help them, I'll introduce them to that. But if I'm sitting here today like this, we're sitting here talking about concepts and platforms and how they might benefit each of us with our various clientele.
Yeah. I think I think that's that fine line where it's like, okay, great, come in, it's exciting, you try it. And this one, I will say that the barrier for connection is lower on this than anywhere else, because people can literally come in, click a few buttons. Next thing, I just click in, I'm joined. Hey, I'm meeting people that I'm already connected with, or I'm meeting new people, potential clients. I already know there's tons of people who've gotten business off of this and started collaborating. And that's the thing, is that a lot of the others, it's like I said, here's how I look at it, because I look at the mechanics of how things work. If we were going to chat, I would have, hey, let's Ray, let's video chat. Okay, well, maybe it's about what? About what day, right? The thing that's unique about this is I'm also, just like with Facebook, I'm never calling up my coworker or someone who I went to high school with and saying, hey, your cat picture's so cute. Hey, thanks for mailing it to me. And I'm gonna make a phone call to tell you, that I just kind of like it. I don't know what that means to you. Hey, thanks, goodbye. It doesn't happen. So when we look in the world of communication, the only reason I'll like your cat picture, and that will be in any way part of our relationship, is thanks to what Facebook set there, that I could just go click a button because I saw something. Well, with this, it's the same thing for video. I wouldn't have called up and said, hey, let's talk about, maybe I wouldn't have called up and said, hey, let's talk after your show about your show or about this and that. Let's set something up. That wasn't going to ever happen. So the fact that it is happening, that's the secret sauce of this, is that you'll be in the seat talking to someone, video chatting with someone over potentially nothing, but yet that relationship's going to grow. And I think that's really the secret sauce.
Well, I think that's a great point, because that serendipity is something that's been missing, right? Because everything is planned. We plan. We have our content calendar. We know where we're going to schedule our tweets. We know where we're going to check with Facebook. And you're right. There's very few opportunities to meet just by chance, as we did today. So I totally agree with that. This is excellent for that. So we've got a couple minutes before we're going to end this Blab. Anybody want to join in before we go?
I'm going to check on that. Ross, it was great putting a face with everything. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice chat.
Raymond, again, thank you very much.
Okay, we'll be talking. See you next week. Bye-bye.
All right. See y'all.
Have a great day, Randy.
Okay, let's say hi to Scott.
Bam.
And we'll say hi to Nazim again.
I was getting ready to go home. I had my bag and everything ready. I'm still stuck in the office listening to you guys.
Yeah, it's that Ross guy. He's so damn smart.
We suck you in. That's the one thing about Blab.
It worked, Ross. It worked. And I've been following you, but we never met on Google Plus. Maybe because I don't know.
I was lame to that party. Essentially, it's supposed to be late to that party. I was just lame to that party because I never really dug in. I was so busy with some other stuff, but I wanted to, and I was like, oh, video. That looks like. That's so real, because I'm a people person. I like to connect and get real and engage with people.
Yeah. Is Scott
I missed it.
Well, I think he had a problem. I'm not sure if he knows about the video little icon thing.
To is real.
Okay.
Christy.
Ross, where are you located? I forget.
I'm in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest in Washington State.
Cool.
And I'm on the boring side of the state. Sorry for the visitor, Chamber of Commerce. Probably someday I'm going to want to go speak. They're going, oh, yeah, we remember you said we were boring. And it's like, well, yes, I can say we're boring because I was raised here, so I know we're boring. Yeah, we're on the other side of the mountains where you have to drive for a while to get to any excitement. That's why I love the internet.
So you're on the left coast?
Yeah, I'm in Spokane. So
Spokane, Washington. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
if I drive for a little bit, I can go to Walla Walla, Ritzville, maybe Yakima if I drive long enough, or
If I drive half an hour, I'm in Switzerland.
If
well,
I go
that's the whole North thing, right,
Wyoming,
Nazim?
It'll be a long ways till I see anything. So you definitely.
That's craziness. I mean, like it's. I mean, I'm in Montreal, so God, if I drive, how long did you say to get to Switzerland?
About half an hour.
Okay, if I drove half an hour, I would basically just get to the other end of Montreal. And that's because of traffic, right?
Hey, Scott, great to see you here.
Hey, this is the first time, Nazim, that we've been on anything, right?
No, man. I think maybe once on Google Plus, if I'm not
Okay.
Maybe once on a game show, maybe on Michael's. No.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, because Scott and Randy and Jess, my Lord, they've been with me on the Lunch Bunch, like way back, even before we actually had a regular weekly show.
I never get invited to this Lunch Bunch thing.
Well, it's not like we're hiding. But Nazim does have a special place in my internet history because he was in the very first hangout that I did.
That's right.
I was invited in by what's that guy's name there? The guy that he's around, like Mark Shervington guy.
Shervington,
Yeah. Anyway, he invited me to an open. Well, that's all we had at the time, which is Hangouts. We didn't have Hangouts on air, and I met Nazim and a whole bunch of people that I still are in my social circles.
Yeah. Great to see you all here on Blab because it's quite interesting.
It is, and we didn't talk too much about Blab.
No, that's great. Thank you.
But no, Ross, and thank you for all the great insight, man. I'm so glad that we actually got to see each other because, again, I see you all the time in my streams, and you're so brilliant. I didn't even know you managed restaurants too, so that's like a double A.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. It is nice to connect because I've met so many people on here that I'd been friends with for years, and then finally getting to be like, it's amazing how much that changes everything because all of a sudden, their little avatar all of a sudden, hey, it has a deeper meaning, hey, I know that person more, normally you're just, the funny thing is a couple times though, and people, they're using old pictures of like high school senior photos, right? Then I'm sitting there in a Blab with them or something, and I don't recognize them. Follow them on Twitter. I'm like, oh, that's that person? What? I didn't even know that was that person. I'm like, because I'm a face. I remember faces more than I do, names.
I always get
so-and-so, and I'm like, oh, well, let me see who it is. Oh, yeah, that guy, I know.
I always get a hassle because everybody's like, why don't you put your face on Casa Kids? And I go, no, because it's me and my wife together, and we scope and we do stuff from Italy. But everybody's like, so they call me Kaz, and after a while, it's like, oh, that's Nazim.
But it is confusing, and you can put, you can do it like they have this thing like a photo editor thing where you can put like two faces on the same little thing.
No, I have if you look at my Nazim, mine, I'm together with my wife on my normal.
Yeah, I know.
But I also know that here on Blab you can change the imagery if you want, so that I got to look.
Okay,
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Let's let Scott talk a little bit. Give us an update.
Before we go, Scott, because we're going to hang out. So
I know. I just wanted to say hi to Nazim and hi for the first time to Ross. And Ross, we're practically neighbors because you're over there and I'm in Seattle, right?
There you go. See, totally from the coast there. I used to live there, so
there's a chance for a HIRL, an HIRL, or a blurl. What do you call it in the Blab world when people meet in real life?
Oh,
coffee.
Blab in real life.
That could be a blurl.
I guess it's a burl.
It's a blurl.
Well, let's cut the L. I think burl.
A hurl doesn't seem like it's.
No, hurl sounds something I didn't call.
This isn't going to be a good meeting.
Well, everyone tune in a week from today because this is just the beginning of another great season.
Yeah, that was he's referring to, if you don't know, the Ray2Go show. We just launched today, and this is our very first post-show Blab. So we'll be back next week again at 1 o'clock. So with that little promo, thanks, Scott. I'm going to say bye, and we're going to close off, and we'll see you next week. Great to see you guys. Take care.
Ciao.